The other person. Every day, after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded by the security computer and check them. I throw any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see? Come to think of it now, I remember throwing away one photo that day. Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Right, anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Every day after I finish guard duties, I have one other important job to do. Well, I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. Throw out any that aren't suspicious looking. Okay. How exactly did you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at the faces, for the most part. For the most part. This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Well, who the heck was in that photo you erased? A fanboy. Fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys? Real freaks if you ask me. They get information about rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Wait a second, didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. Ah, that's why the drain was kicked off. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers. Kids. So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy. Probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studio that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. I'd like to take 5 minute recess. I want the defense and prosecution to consider this new information, and no forgetting vital information this time. Okay, so this brought in this interesting factor in. October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court Defendant's Lobby number 3. Mr. WV? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I did go to the studio. I was sleeping. Honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room, and anyone could have walked in and taken it. Really? What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone wanting to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now, Nick. What are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic. Not at all, actually. Hey Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. The court will now reconvene for the trials of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, Will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there was still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for the verdict of guilty for the defendant of Mr. Willpowers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed the crime. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? Okay. The grade school boy couldn't have done it. Even with the spear broken, I don't think he could have. The security lady? I really doubt she did it. I'm suspicious about the assistant girl. It was the assistant. The Steel Samurai costume was in his dressing room. She stole it, and in doing so she became the Steel Samurai. So you're saying the Steel Samurai in the picture is really the assistant? That's correct, Your Honor. Objection. If you're serious, you've got guts, Mr. Wright. Remember the photo? Wasn't the Steel Samurai a little lame? He was dragging his foot. Oh, uh-oh. Bad feeling time. Remember the testimony concerning Powers' injury. Powers and poor Hammer were at the run-through. Oh, and me. What about the assistant? Oh, her? She was cleaning the... Oh, no. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. The assistant knew nothing of Mr. Powers' injury. She could look at the Steel Samurai. She could look the Steel Samurai with the costume, but she couldn't walk the Steel Samurai walk. She wouldn't have limped. That kind of takes the legs from under that case, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid I have to penalize you as I warned. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Maybe we move on, Mr. Wright? This fight isn't over yet. If Your Honor, if you would, Your Honor, one more chance, please. Very well, go ahead. So who is this person? He's just, okay, take another guess. Okay. That was my bad, definitely. So she knows the limp. Still, I really can't think it was like the grade school boy. And I don't think it would be Old Bag. I guess I'll have to go for Old Bag. You can't really, like, the kid wouldn't even look that tall. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in the picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they have been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper? Is she actually the one who did it? I'd be surprised. Order, order. Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left to post the Steel Samurai costume and slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simply, Your Honor. She knew about the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent detective reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes #2, baby. That's odd. Isn't that the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. Really? No, nothing to say? You don't care? He doesn't care. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this hole away. I haven't even taken any of these, like, give them a break options. I've always pressed further. I feel like one time it's gonna be, like, the wrong thing to do. So if I press further, she's gonna go into a rampage again. But that leaves me open to Edgeworth if I mess up. But if I give her a break... what would that accomplish? Makes me almost want to try doing that. Because I don't want to leave myself open to messing up or having Edgeworth pounce, because I think he's looking for an opening. I will take that option for once. I guess this does kind of make it look like she's the killer. Funny, I feel bad for her all of a sudden. It's true that the witness could conceivably have committed the crime, yet we must not forget that the victim was an action hero. As formidable as her personality may be, I doubt she'd be strong enough. Uh-oh. If he removes her from consideration, that means Mr. Powers is it. Sorry, Windbag, but I don't have a choice. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers the suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy! The one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. Yeah, that's what I thought. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it nice to be nice to the kids these days and mean to your elders? Today, whippersnapper. I have proof. Proof, indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. Your proof that shows the boy could not have committed the murder. Pierced to the chest by a spear. The murder weapon. I mean, the murder weapon's pretty good. Oh, is it the card key? The kid couldn't have gotten the card key. I might try. I might try the card key. That would make sense. The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. The court will suspend proceeding on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness. Miss Wendy? What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. The court is adjourned. So I have to go look for more evidence now, I suppose. Wait a second. Oh. Oh, the music. I'm not going to sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking. Oh great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told to not talk about. Not talk about? By whom? Huh, you mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studio on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? They told me just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag. This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Well, first I want to know who those people were. Any of them that... There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder press. Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer for starters. That makes sense. The director. We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2. Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over, so they would still have to pass through the camera though. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... I want to know what happened, like, personally I want to know what happened to their pictures, because it would have taken their pictures. And everybody crossing the... I'm going to continue it. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for a murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it, and they gave me a little bonus on the side. So, you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. I want to ask one more. Yeah, let's get the full information. Yeah, they wanted to keep you quiet. So, you were told not to talk. That's right, by the studio and TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. There were... So they were actually in the studio. Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. I'll kill this woman. I swear it. I feel sorry for Edgeworth. Almost. She really left him hanging on this one. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Them. Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer for starters. The director? Oh, was that the start of the testimony? Studio 2 trailer, yeah. I already know this. I still want to know what happened to their picture, if it took a picture for everyone. Let's take a break. Your Honor, we have learned there were other sets, Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold it that it is impossible to declare the verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people who have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceeding in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is adjourned. Oh, made it through with not too many mistakes. October 18th, 1 p.m. 104, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Aw, really, it's nothing. Oh, or should I? Well, we'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigation. We need to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. And now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have you figured out just who it was in the Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been the old windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying some time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy and take a bit, for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there without, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studio. Right, we'll be back to the, visit you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I really don't think Old Bag did the murder. To be continued. Oh, we got another save point. Yay. Yes. Yay. Seiwaru.